everyone, you're not just as tired as I am. So today in this video we're going to be talking about inheritance, one of the main concepts of object-oriented programming. The other main concepts being encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you've already understood what encapsulation is. So, inheritance. You've probably heard of that before you started coding, since it's been used many times as a plot point in movies. You know the ones. The big man or woman of the house is dying and decides to leave his fortune to one of his children. Then the eldest bratty character, who may or may not have been the cause of the declining health rate in the first place.
It truly is a tragedy! I cannot believe someone would poison our afternoon brandy!
Expects to inherit the fortune, but surprise, surprise, the more innocent younger sibling gets it and the eldest dies or something. You know, those ones. Inheritance is a very straightforward concept. So basically, B gets something from A. B inherits something from A. Can't get more straight. This basically rings true for inheritance and programming as well. In programming, you have a superclass and a subclass. Basically, the superclass is the one with the attributes and methods that you want, while the subclass is the one that is going to inherit the attributes and methods of the superclass. And we're going to go a little bit more in depth with some sample coding, right? So, I've already discussed what inheritance was. Well, more like informed you of what inheritance was. And I also gave an example to go along with it. But now I'm going to be making a programming example. So as you can see here, I've already opened up my IDE, Eclipse. You can do this in pretty much any IDE because I'm pretty sure it's a main concept of object-oriented programming. But I digress. So let's start up a new project here. New project name, and here finish. Now let's start up a new class so that we can get started. Name. I'm thinking about I'm going to be using an example that it's pretty much very basic, and I'm pretty sure you've already done this if you are a CS student, or if you've done this when you got into programming anyways. So we're going to be making a calculator. Public static void, finish. Moving on. So I'm going to be making our superclass here, and I'll be naming it operations. And now an empty value for everything. And now we're going to be making our methods. And the first method should be, of course, addition. Int B, int C, two values that it can be used for calculating. And the formula, so A is equal to B plus C. And now to show, so I can show off the output, system.println. First now, the sum of the two values is space. Concatenate. Okay. very generic as all programs go. So let's move on to our next method. So public void subtraction. Two values as well, B and C. So let's go with the formula here. A is equal to B minus C. And as always, system dot out headline. The difference of the two values is concatenate the difference. Alright, so we have two methods under our belt. Let's add in a third one. Multiplication. Int B and C. Very standard, very standard. So let's make our formula here. B times C. And as always, the output. Product? Yeah, product. Concatenate the product, and we're done there. So, as you can see, our superclass is filled to the brim with operations, meanwhile our subclass has none. But this isn't a subclass, not yet. First off, we need to write extends and the name of our superclass. And now, this subclass is going to take in the attributes and the methods of this superclass. Don't believe it? Well, it's time to show you. So first off, let's give a value to our B and C, shall we? And B is equal to 100 and C is equal to 50. And let's write off oops, wrong place. And B and C. And write off our object here. Calculator. Object equals new calculator. So we have our object, we have our operations over here. As you can see, our subclass is basically empty, but then we can just do this. Ooh, nice. Object subtraction. B, C. Object multiplication. B. A little bit of a mistake there. Forgive me for that. And run the calculator. Damn, will you look at that? Well, I'm not very good at math, but I'm pretty sure that is correct. As you can see here, our subclass is basically empty, but since it's extending the attributes and the methods of our superclass operations, it can basically do this. Well, isn't that useful? Very. That's all for today. See you next time. Stay safe, because this year sucks.